So we are going to discuss about the northern plains of our country, India. Okay, from chapter number 2, physical features of India. Actually, the northern plains of our country is one of the most important physical division of our country, actually. And in this northern plain, we have like a vast area, actually. Okay, around 7 lakh square kilometer area. It forms the northern plains. The northern plains has been formed by the interplay of the three major river systems, namely the Ganga, the Indus, and the Brahmaputra, along with the tributaries. Okay. So the northern plains of our country, it is mainly formed by the deposition of the sediments which has been brought by the three major rivers of our country. Okay, that is the Indus River, the Ganga River, and the Brahmaputra River. Okay, not only these three major rivers, but also their tributaries. Actually, there are many small tributaries of these three rivers, and these three tributaries of the tributaries of river Indus, Ganga, and Brahmaputra has helped in the formation of the northern plains. Actually, I hope you all remember that last day I have said you that the northern plains has been formed after the upliftment of the Himalayas. That means after the Himalayas was formed, then the northern plains was formed actually. Okay, so what happened actually when the collision between the Indo-Australian and the Eurasian plate took place, it led to the formation of the Himalayas. Okay, and the sediments which were like there, okay, on the Earth's crust actually, it got uplifted and it led to the formation of the Himalayas. And many years after the formation of the Himalayas, okay, like as we know that the higher altitudinal areas is very much cool actually. Okay, the temperature is very much low. So in the higher altitudinal areas of the Himalayas, okay, like glaciers, snowfall, and all, it started happening. And later on, when this glacier, snow, and the ice and all started melting, actually, okay, the water started coming down the slopes actually. Okay, and they started carrying the sediments along with them actually. So these sediments, which were carried down by these streams, basically these streams later on got divided, formed into rivers actually. Okay, so these streams, which later on got formed the rivers, that is the Indus, Ganga, and the Brahmaputra, and the other tributaries actually. Okay, they brought the sediments from the upper part of the Himalayan region and they deposited in the foothills of the Himalayan region, where a shallow depression was formed during the formation of the Himalayas. Okay, and this shallow depression later on got filled up entirely by the sediments brought down by these three major rivers actually. Okay, and it led to the formation of the northern plains. Okay, so here we can say that the northern plains has been formed by the depositional work of the three major rivers, and that is the Indus, Ganga, and the Brahmaputra actually. Okay, and the northern plains is the highly fertile area of our country actually, because here the sediments which has been deposited, okay, like they are very fine in nature. Okay, and like the fine sediments were deposited actually. The northern plains is formed of alluvial soil, and the deposition of alluvium in a vast basin lying at the foothills of the Himalayas over millions of years formed this fertile plain. Okay, so as we all know that the northern plains is highly fertile in nature. Okay, because here in the northern plains we can find the alluvial soil. The deposition of the alluvium in a vast basin lying at the foothills of the Himalayas over millions of years formed this fertile plain actually. So the sediments which were the alluvium, okay, the alluvium, that is the fine sediments which were brought down by the major rivers of the Himalayan region actually, okay, it led to the formation of these northern plains, and which is a fertile area. The entire northern plains, it covers an area of 7 lakh square kilometer. That means the total size of the northern plains is 7 lakh square kilometer. Okay, this is the total area of the northern plains. The plain being about 2,400 kilometer. Okay, the northern plains is about 2,400 kilometer, and 240 kilometer to 300 kilometer broad is a densely populated physiographic division actually. So the northern plains is very like it's like around 2,400 kilometer long, okay, from the west to the east actually, and 240 to 320 kilometer broad from the north to the south. And this part of the northern plain actually, the entire northern plain is densely populated part of our country actually. It means most of the population, a larger part of the population of our country can be found in this northern plain region. Because uh, in the Indian history actually, okay, in the Indian history, the human habitation, okay, the settlement, human settlement first developed in this northern plains only, because these northern plains had the fertile soil and adequate supply of water actually. So The people, they settled near the sources of the river where the alluvial soil was present, and they started doing the agriculture. And slowly, this northern plain region started becoming very populated. And at present, okay, almost all, like the mostly populated state of our country, it comes under this northern plain region. Okay, like the state like Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, West Bengal, Assam, and all. Okay, these are all the states which comes under this northern plain region, and these are the states which are highly populated actually. With a rich soil cover combined with adequate water supply and favorable climate, it is agriculturally a productive part of India. Okay, with a rich soil cover which is combined with adequate water supply and favorable climate. Okay, so this part of the northern plain or this part of India is a highly productive part because most of the food production or the agricultural production of our country is practiced in this northern plains. Okay, means rice, wheat, sugarcane, almost all the major crops of our country is mainly cultivated in the plains of northern, in the northern plains. Okay, so why the agriculture is more flourished or agriculture is more like developed in this northern plain? Because of the availability of water, okay, which we get from the different rivers and also because of the fertility of the soil. The fertility of the soil is very high in this part actually. The northern plain is broadly divided into three sections. The entire northern plain can be divided into three sections or into three divisions actually. Okay. So basically the extreme northern part of the northern plain, it is known as the Punjab plain. Okay. The northwestern part actually you can see. The western part of the northern plain is referred to as the Punjab plain. Okay. The western part of the northern plain is referred to as the Punjab plain, and it basically includes, okay, it basically includes the part of Punjab, Haryana, and all. Okay, see, formed by the Indus and its tributaries, the larger part of this plain lies in Pakistan. The Indus and its tributaries, that is the Jhelum, the Chenab, the Ravi, the Bias, and the Satluj, they originate in the Himalayas. And this section of the plain is dominated by the Doabs. So that means the Punjab plain, okay, a larger part of the Punjab plain, it lies in Pakistan. Okay, and this Punjab plain is mainly formed by the tributaries of River Indus, by the River Indus and its 5 tributaries. Okay, and these 5 tributaries basically include the Jhelum, the Chenab, the Ravi, the Bias, and the Satluj. And this part of the Punjab plain is mainly dominated by the Doabs. Okay, Doabs are basically, you can say, larger plain area actually where some marshy land can be found actually. Okay, some marshy land can be found. Okay, so this is the first division of the northern plain, which is known as the Punjab plain. And the Indian part of this Punjab plain basically include the state of Punjab and Haryana. Then next is the Ganga plain. Okay, the Ganga plain extends between Ghagar and the Tista river. So the entire Ganga plain, it lies between the Ghagar river and the Tista river, and it is spread over the states of North India, Haryana, okay, over the states of northern India, which includes some part of Haryana, Delhi, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, some parts of Jharkhand and West Bengal to its east. Particularly in Assam lies the Brahmaputra plain actually. Okay, so the part of the plain which lies between Ghagar river and the Tista river is known as the Ganga plain. Okay, and this Ganga plain is actually like I said you, like it is divided into different sections. So Ganga plain is actually the largest section, okay, which is the largest section of this northern plain. And this Ganga plain mainly comprises the state of okay, some parts of Haryana, Delhi, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, some parts of Jharkhand and West Bengal actually. Okay, this includes the Ganga plain. And beyond the river Tista actually, beyond river Tista, that means from river Tista till Brahmaputra, okay, in Arunachal Pradesh, that part is known as the Brahmaputra plain. Okay, that part is known as the Brahmaputra plain, and which basically include the state of Assam. Okay, the state of Assam is also a fertile land actually, and it comes under the Brahmaputra plain. So this is what about the division of the Ganga river actually. Okay, like this is the division of the northern plain, that is the Punjab plain, the Ganga plain, and the Brahmaputra plain. But apart from this also, there are other 2 divisions. Okay, that we are going to discuss now. The northern plains are generally described as a flat land with no variation in its relief. Okay, so basically it is said that the northern plain is a flat land. Okay, it is a flat land, and where there is no variation in its relief. That means where there is a no variation in its height and characteristics actually. Okay, but it is not true actually. Even in the northern plains, there are further subdivision. There are differences in the characteristics of the northern plain actually, because some part of the northern plains are highly fertile. Some plains or part of the northern plains are not so much fertile actually. Okay, some part of the northern plains they lie just near to the foothills of the Himalayas, and some they lie away from the Himalayan part actually. Okay, so the northern plains is not actually a flat land, but here in the northern plains there is a variation in its relief feature. These vast plains also have diverse relief features. Okay, this diverse plain actually, okay, the northern plains they have a diverse relief features in it. Okay, means different types of relief features exist in this northern plain actually. Okay, according to their variation in relief features, the northern plains can be divided into 4 regions. Okay, so according to the relief features, okay, according to the characteristics of the northern plains, okay, differences in the characteristics of the northern plains can be divided into 4 regions. Actually, it can be divided into divisions. Actually, okay, that is Bhabar and Khadar, okay, Terai and Duars. Bhabar and Khadar, Terai, and Duar. These are the 4 subdivisions, okay, or 4 major regions of the northern plains actually. See. So the rivers, after descending from the mountains, they deposit pebbles in a narrow belt of about 8 to 16 kilometer in width, lying parallel to the slopes of the Sivaliks, and it is known as the Bhabar. Okay, so basically the Bhabar belt, it lies just below the foothills of the Himalayas, means where the Himalayas end, okay, from there till 16 kilometer, till 18 to 16 kilometer, okay, that is known as the Bhabar belt actually. In this Bhabar belt, basically what happens, the rivers which are flowing actually, the rivers which flows down from the upper part of the Himalayan region actually, okay, they bring along with them the sediments and all, okay, and basically the pebbles, okay, the pebbles and all, okay, the small stones and all, okay, and the coarse materials, they get deposited in this part of this Bhabar actually. Okay, in this part of the Bhabar it get deposited, the pebbles and all. And one important characteristics of this Bhabar belt is that all the small streams they disappear in this Bhabar belt. So basically, the main rivers actually which flow from the higher altitudinal areas, they continue to flow. But many small streams are there actually which disappear actually. Means after entering this Bhabar belt, they disappear. That means the streams they start flowing from the underground actually. Why? Because here the land is very much porous. Okay, the land is very much porous as because it is made up of pebbles and all. Okay, pebbles can be found and all, so that the water basically flows from underground actually, okay, for some distance, and after flowing from some distance it again emerges actually, okay, in the next well actually, in the Khadar. Here you can see. So south of this Bhabar belt, okay, the streams and the rivers they re-emerge and create a wet, swampy, and the marshy region known as the Tarai region. Okay, so south of Bhabar lies the Tarai region actually, which is a marshy land. Okay, which is a marshy land, and where the rivers or the small streams they again re-emerge actually. Okay, where the small rivers and the streams they re-emerge actually, and the entire region is a swampy area. It's a marshy area. That means here the the water composition in the soil is very much high actually. Okay, the water composition is very much high in this region and this was a thickly forested region full of wildlife actually. And in the earlier period actually, this entire Tarai region or the Terai region was thickly forested. Like you can see the Tarai Duars region of our Bengal actually. Okay, if you go to Duars, okay, this region and all, this part, okay, this Malbajar, Utlabadi, Al Khudra side and all. Okay, it comes under this Tarai and the Duars region actually. Okay, so here you can find that it was a thickly forested area actually before. Okay, but because of increase in the human habitation and all, okay, like deforestation has taken place and the forests were cleared and human habitation started actually for agriculture purpose. Okay, the forests have been cleared to create the agricultural land and to settle migrants from Pakistan after partition. So a larger part of this forested areas of the Tarai region, it was cleared. Okay, it was deforested to carry out the agricultural practice actually. Like people, they were engaged in the shifting cultivation earlier. Okay, so they used to clear the land, they used to cut the land to carry out the shifting cultivation and all. Okay, and moreover, after the partition of Pakistan, that means after the formation of Bangladesh and all, many people they migrated. Okay, after the even after the formation of India and Pakistan, actually, many people they migrated to this part. Okay, and they have settled in this region actually. The largest part of the northern plain is formed of older alluvium, and it lies above the floodplains of the river and presents a terrace-like feature. And this is known as the Bhangar actually. Okay, and so these were the different divisions actually. Okay, Bhabar and Khadar. Okay, these were the divisions actually, the Tarai and the Duvers actually. Okay, so Bhangar. Bhangar is another division of the northern plains actually. So this Bhangar basically can be found, okay, in the upper part of the northern plains actually. Okay, and this part of Bhangar is not fertile actually. Okay, means here the soil which has formed the northern plains actually is not so much fertile. Okay, it is less fertile actually. So the largest part of the northern plain is formed of older alluvium. That means the older alluvium soil is present over there, and it lies above the floodplains of the rivers and presents a terrace-like structure actually. So in this Bhabar region, terrace-like formations are there, step-like formations are there in the like landforms and all. Okay, and the land is not so much fertile in this region actually, because the older alluvium is there. Every year, what happens? The rivers carry along with them the sediments and all. The sediments get deposited. So again, in the next year, the rivers will bring the sediments and they will deposit it. So like this way, year after year, the sediments went on depositing, and the lower layers of these sediments actually, okay, they got converted into Bhabar actually. They are not so much fertile actually. Okay. And on the other hand, the Khadar is the highly fertile part of the northern place actually, where every year because of the flood and all, okay, the new sediments are being brought down by the rivers, they are deposited, and where the farmers they can grow their crops easily actually. Okay, you can see here. See the next one actually. Okay. The soil in this region contains calcareous deposits locally known as the kankar. So basically in the upper region actually, okay, like small pebbles can be found. Okay, that is the calcareous deposit. Okay, small stones and the pebbles can be found, which are known as the kankar. So the presence of this kankar and the older alluvium makes the land, okay, the Bhangar land not suitable for agriculture. It means it can be used for agriculture, but the productivity is not so high. Whereas on the other hand, the newer, younger deposits of the floodplains are called the Khadar actually. Okay, means this Khadar is the newly formed alluvial northern plains actually. Okay, the Khadar is the newly formed part of the northern plains. Okay, where agriculture is very much flourished actually. Why? Because the sediments are not very much old actually, and they get renewed every year. Okay, so this part of this northern plain, that is the Khadar part, is very much fertile actually. Okay, so here you can see the newer, younger deposits of the floodplains are called the Khadar. They are renewed almost every year and so are fertile, thus ideal for intensive cultivation. So most of the agricultural practice of our country is carried out in this Khadar belt actually. Okay, where the soil is very much fertile and agricultural productivity is also very much high. Okay, so this is what about the northern plains actually. So the northern plains can be divided into different sections according to the area. That is the Punjab plain, okay, the Ganga plain, and the Brahmaputra plain, which mainly includes the state of Assam. But apart from this, depending upon the characteristics, it can be divided into 4 subdivisions actually. Okay, that is the Bhabar, the Tarai, the Bhangar, and the Khadar. Okay. Again, one more thing I want to add it here is that when we will study about the soils actually, okay, in the soil also, when we will study about the alluvial soil, okay, you will see that the alluvial soil is divided into 2 types actually. That is the Khadar and the Bhangar, the same thing. Okay, the Khadar and the Bhangar is the type of the alluvial soil also. Okay, but here the Khadar and Bhangar has been shown as a separate division of the northern plains actually. Okay, so this is what about the northern plains of our country, India, and it is the highly populated part of our country where most of the industrialization has taken place, where the transportation facility is very much developed, where the human habitation is also very high, that is the density of population is very high, as well as a larger agricultural production of our country is done in this part of the northern plains. So I hope you all have understood about this northern plains. Okay.